Hi, we're Lynn
and Nisha,
and you're watching
BTS MVP.
Welcome to another episode of BTS MVP, where we pick out the most iconic moments and our favorite member for each of their biggest hits. But before we get to today's song, let's talk about the drink of the day.
The drink of the day is a vanilla milkshake. This is because in Bon Voyage Season 3, in the early episodes, it's very, very hot and BTS are adjusting. And Suga is in desperate need of a milkshake.
Yeah, it's like milkshake, milkshake. Just give the man a milkshake. And we went with McDonald's today because, why?
The McDonald's BTS meal is coming out soon.
What do you think of your milkshake?
What do I think of my milkshake?
It's really sweet. I would not normally drink something so sweet.
Heavy.
Yeah.
The McDonald's milkshakes are always
meal in a cup.
But yummy. Sugary.
All right.
Cool. On a hot malta day.
Moving on. Yes. Let's introduce the song of the day. Today's song is Mic Drop, and it is one of their biggest international hits, the first song that sort of took them international, and one of the first songs that had a significant amount of English in it, because today we will be talking about the Steve Aoki remix.
Yes.
And one thing you should know about Mic Drop that I did not know until we were doing research for this video is that there are actually several versions of it.
No way.
True.
Really?
Yeah, originally they recorded it just in Korean for the album, Love Yourself Her. And then I don't know why Steve Aoki got interested in doing a remix version, but he did, and he made a remix with a rapper called Designer, where Designer wrote his own words for the whole opening part. And then he also rewrote other parts of it in English, and BTS re-recorded their parts in English. But Designer was the main rapper throughout that whole version, and it was sort of released as a single. And then I guess Big Hit had the idea from the success of that single to make their own version of the remix with BTS themselves recording the rap part, and they restored the Korean rap part of J-Hope and Suga for the beginning. So that version from Big Hit with some English and Steve Aoki is what we call the Steve Aoki remix, and that's the one that we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Okay, so jumping in, based on the remix, who is your first honorable mention?
My first honorable mention is J-Hope, the one and only. I believe that you also have J-Hope as an honorable mention.
J-Hope is an honorable mention for me today, but it hurts my heart because for me, Mic Drop has always been a J-Hope song, and I thought for sure J-Hope had MVP in the bag today. And my heart is still with J-Hope because I just love his opening rap so much. But the more I listened to the song, the more I had to say, someone else has a few more
How absolutely
moments.
Wrong you were.
I wouldn't say absolutely wrong.
Absolutely incorrect.
Anyway, sadly, J-Hope will remain an honorable mention.
Poor J-Hope. But there are many good things that he does in this song. J-Hope's rap has a very good flow, and the sounds of the words as a non-Korean speaker just complement each other very nicely, that you don't even have to know the language.
누가 내 수저 더럽대 I don't care 마이크 잡음 금 수저 여러 배 버럭해 잠못 익은 것들 새끼 여러 개 거두벌 씹어 죽겠다 에이 거두개 World business 핵심 섭외 일스니 매진 많지 않지 이 클래스 같이 만기 종향의 악진 반칙 마이크 번지.
In one point, he says world business, which is really just some offhand English part, but it always reminds me of J-Hope saying important business in Bon Voyage.
True. I completely agree with you. Like, he's got the opening rap part, and we always really like the opening rap part. And J-Hope is a master of the sound of words, like the rhythms of words. And for me, Mic Drop is one of the most iconic J-Hope raps with the choppy sound.
Nice. You're an embarrassment to all armies.
True. I highly recommend digging into the lyric meaning for Mic Drop because
Yes.
J-Hope's part is full of little puns and double meanings, and the words all rhyme and have a syncopation in addition to having a deeper meaning than you might find on the surface. It's worth making sure that you understand every single thing that he's saying. So I'll definitely link to a few resources there if you want to dig deeper into J-Hope's lyrics in those parts. All right, tell me about your other honorable mention where we have a bit of a disconnect on that.
Right, so my second honorable mention is where we differentiate, and my second honorable mention is Suga. This is because I also thought his rap had particularly good flow, and now I can see why, because J-Hope wrote it.
I think likely, yeah. They sound very similar,
Yes.
their two parts, and the fact that Suga doesn't have a writing credit leads me to believe that it was probably originally J-Hope's. And the fact that J-Hope is really proud of that rap.
Yes.
I think probably he wrote the whole thing. But I mean, Sugar's always great, and he delivers it really well. And I love the fact that when they're together on stage, the two of them sort of play off each other a little bit. It's a good part.
Mike 번지 black 던진 난 알 것 같았겠지만 I'm fine sorry 미안해 billboard 미안해 worldwide 아들이 너무 잘 나가서 미안해 엄마 대신해줘 네가 못한 협력 우리 콘서트 절대 없어 hold on I do it 너 말 없는 라다 do it 후배가 아프다는 고소해 소리.
Throughout the song, J-Hope and Suga both have sort of small repeating parts where somebody else is singing and then they just have a line here or there where they say careful of your feet and careful of what you say.
Right.
So J-Hope says it, and then at one point in the song, and then later on Suga also says it, and it's the same line, but they're both saying it. I find that very adorable, and it's another Suga J-Hope moment in the song, which
Very
I
nice.
like.
Very nice.
Another trophy, my hands carry a map. Too many that I can't even count. Somebody stop me.
Right, the last thing about Suga, my honorable mention, is of course whenever they're performing it live, at the very end,
Of course.
Suga gets the official mic drop. Now, he actually switches out his mic with a fake mic as to not damage anything, but the sound of a mic hitting the floor still goes out. You might be wondering why. This is because Jin usually gives his mic a light tap as they're walking away to match with the visual of Suga throwing the mic.
I would call that a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
That is a pretty fun fact. I'm actually going to throw my second honorable mention to Jin in this song. This is definitely, I would say, a rapper song as opposed to a vocal song. All of the vocal line,
definitely.
of course, showing up and doing awesome as usual. But the vocal line really gets to shine with the bridge, which is almost at the very end of the song. And in my opinion, it's Jin who both sets up that bridge and controls the whole sort of structure of the segment.
Yeah.
일 없어 마지막 인사야 말도 없어 사과도 하지마 볼 일 없어 마지막 인사야 할 말도 없어 사과도 하지마.
Love Jin's voice, and Suga once said that Jin's voice is suited to all genres of music, and I think he shows that here by absolutely bringing a starring part to what would otherwise be a rap song. So love your part in this, Jin. Honorable mention goes out to you. Now let's talk about who is the MVP. All right, our MVP for Mic Drop is
RM.
We both went with RM, even though I would like to iterate once again, I do love J-Hope in this song so much.
You've betrayed your morals.
No, I caved. But RM won me over with his rap part. So his rap part in English is iconic in this household. We cannot listen to that song without yelling at the top of our lungs. Baby, watch your mouth, it come back around.
Fan chants? I don't know them.
Baby, watch your mouth, it come back around. Once upon a time, We learn how to fly. Go get your mirror. Same damn clothes. You know how I feel. Can't go. How many hours do we fly? I keep on dreaming of the cloud. Yeah, I'm on the mountain. Yeah, I'm on the vibe. Every day we vibing. Mic drop.
It's not a literal translation of what he originally wrote in Korean, which is also very good, and I do recommend looking that up if you're at all interested. But his English version has the same kind of vibe. It has the same kind of spirit of we're doing really well, and you guys suck, and we're not going to give our haters any kind of attention. And it's powerful, it's fun, it's the kind of thing that you scream at the top of your lungs when it comes around. So I had to say, RM, excellent work there.
Definitely. Along with that, he also gets to say the actual name of the song, which you know we love. A mic drop in the background in a very low voice. And it's so nice.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Discount rap monster.
I'm no RM, no.
Another trip, my hands carrying too many that I can't even count them.
So RM also has this really cool part
Yes.
in the middle of the song.
Where he says, haters gonna hate and players gonna play.
I mean, from start to finish, RM is all over this song. I do feel like it's a rapper song.
Yes.
And such a tough choice. I'm sorry, Jay.
Had to be RM.
But it had to be RM.
You chose correctly.
All right, thank you. Okay, one teeny fun fact is that along with the remix version by Steve Aoki, they added a dance break to this song, which made it go from good to like absolutely legendary.
Oh yeah, jaw dropping.
Yeah, so awesome. So we just wanted to make sure everyone has seen the dance break. I'm sure you have, but who doesn't want to see it again?
Prepare yourself.
See it again.
In English, these are called fingers.
Okay.
And this, called a fist.
Is that the whole thing?
That's the whole thing.
All right. You know, I actually think if I hung out with Jin for an afternoon, it would be pretty fun.
I do feel like he's the most hangoutable member.
Yeah, even though
He would be friends with you.
I would apparently not get any of his jokes. Sorry, Jin.
Sorry, Jen.
Anyway, for mic drop, we are calling J-Hope, Suga, and Jin our honorable mentions, but our MVP for this week, we both agree, is RM.
RM.
If you have a different idea, let us know in the comments. And as usual, I will put links to all the clips that we used in our description.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when we post new videos.
Thanks for watching. This has been BTS MVP.